Well, hello, welcome to Drawing with Art. I'm Valarie, neighborhood pyrography artist, and I will be joined with Hubcap, and today we're doing the light clouds. Hey, Andrea, Sheila, Greg, yay, we're gonna get started. I have been so busy in the last week. Just need to breathe for a moment. Been trying to get the nebula done, of which I did. Now I just need to get it varnished and all done. Whew. Doing the lights was a pain in the butt. Alrighty. So I'm going to start off with, I think we're going to go ahead and start off with the extra large spoon shader. Now last week Shirley asked me about the extra large spoon shader. So I called Pat. He is making them slightly different. They have a little bit more of a gap, but angle and everything is still completely the same. So I don't have that one. There we go. Trying to make it where you can see me better. Oh, I hear him now. So I'm going to get that started. I'll start at 2.
Did you start early?
No, I started a minute late.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. It's been a crazy week. So I'm going to zoom in and we are going to work on...
And I'm Hubcap.
Well, I said Hubcap would be joining us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry I'm late.
Finally. I'm actually going to start...
And I'm sorry I keep interrupting.
I'm trying to pick an area. There's lighter clouds here. They are still gray, but they are lighter because the lightning is back, kind of brightening them up. So we will go ahead and start, I think, down here because this area is lighter and then it gets darker up at the top. So let's go ahead and angle this so you guys can see the tip as I'm doing it. Sorry, don't mean to make you dizzy. Let's see here. Let's see all the cats. Nope.
Andrea, Sheila, Greg.
Yeah. Okay. It just went up in numbers, so maybe it just needed a reset. Alrighty, so I'm on 2 in order to go lighter. Now, with the clouds, there's going to be a halo. This is like one of the few times you actually want a halo is when something is glowing. So there's a bit of a halo along the edge, but it's not as bright, as right here. So we're going to start off in a little darker area, and I'm looking at my sepia photo because that's where all my tones are at. So I'm going to touch down real quick, and I'm just going to start putting them in. Actually, I'm going to go to 1.5. That's still a little dark for what I want. Now, next week, we're going to be doing the final details. So once I adjust everything, that won't look as dark. So 1.5, I'm more on the tip.
Well, it's a minor thing.
Oh.
The color on the...
How bad?
No, it's not bad. It just kind of looks gray as opposed to brown. You can see more brown around the edges, but I'm looking at the actual piece, and the color is really rich on it. And
it's because of the light and how it's hitting the wood and the camera's picking it up.
Okay.
Is that a little bit better?
Yeah, I think, well, I'll see in a second.
I just bumped up the saturation just so it can be a little closer. So I'm going to quickly move my pen around, and see right now that does look pretty dark, but then when I put the darker area around it, it will lighten up. Now these are fluffy clouds.
Yeah,
So
that's better.
Okay, so we need to keep the shape. And here it does go a little closer to the edge. Now this is a lighter area. And then as it moves in, it darkens. I think it definitely helped putting in the white first, so I'm less likely to get lost. Again, this is a lot of lines.
Yeah.
And even somebody with a lot of experience doing this can get lost in their own pattern.
Yep.
So.
Happens to me all the time. Of course, my problem is that my patterns aren't as detailed, and I end up doing stuff, and I'm like, perhaps I should have had more pattern.
Well, sometimes that happens to me too. So right here, I'm just using the tip so that it burns a little hotter, because this is a darker area of the cloud. So we want that to be a little darker. Remember, every time I lift my pen, the tip very quickly recovers from any heat loss that the wood has sucked out. Totally normal, but just be ready for that. Let's see here. And then it goes up against a little darker here. And so this is a lighter area.
Greg says I'm lost most times. Me too, Greg.
No, I definitely have my moments. And see, this is a darker part of the sky. So what I can do is very quickly just darken it up a little bit.
So you're using the extra large spoon shader, right?
Mm-hmm.
Aren't you proud of me that I recognized it?
I am.
Actually, I just read it on the handle.
Well, sometimes I have gone to writing on the phone because sometimes I can forget.
Shirley's here.
Hey, Shirley. So just putting in a little bit more of the darks.
Really
Since the sky is so light right here, it's looking like a similar value. And it's not going to be until I darken this part of the sky that looks lighter. And what I can do is I'm going to go ahead and bump up to 3.5. And I'm just going to darken up this area so we can see how this lighter cloud forms more. It's still going to have to go darker. But now we can see. That went probably a little darker than I wanted. Well, now I'm committed.
Shirley says it's good to see you using the XL again for the sky.
Well, you get used to doing things a certain way.
True.
You're always going to have pens that you like better.
Yep. And
that you're just more comfortable. It's not that I'm not comfortable. It's just I just get started and just keep going.
Yeah.
And then I forget. See, that's a little too dark. Shoot. Well, that whole sky is not going to go no less than this. Now, there's a dark cloud that's right there. But see, in doing that, look how much lighter that just got. Just by putting how the dark rests up against the lights. And I bumped back down to 1.5. Again, I can always darken things up.
Sorry about that.
So I'm going to create a halo by not going all the way up to my line. This is the whitest part. And then this blends. It goes from really light to grayer. So I'm going to blend it. And then I'm going to have to reshape some of this cloud just because of how it is in the photo, but not a big deal. And right here, this is a little grayer, a little darker. Again, I'm looking at my sepia photo, and this makes it easier for me to see the different values. The color, if you're used to seeing it with the color, you can see it. But this way you know everything's going to work.
Shirley says that Pat mailed her new mystery pen. She's got quotes there. On the 15th, tracking says it should be there by Thursday.
Good.
I'm assuming mystery pen is something you two are in on.
No, it's the one I'm using right now. He is making it slightly different.
Well, you demystified it.
He does make them slightly different now, but he sometimes he gets busy and things happen because we're human. And so he's just fixing. Just fixing a little oops. And making the pen closer to mine. So it's a custom pen. Since he's not making them like this anymore. Let's see here. We got a dark right here. Don't want to lose it. So I'll just use the tip. Shape the outer of the cloud. And now I can come up and kind of blend this. And see, as we go, the clouds darken.
Carrie's here.
Hey, Carrie. See, I can go in and reshape some of these clouds a little bit. I intentionally didn't go right up to the line so I could reshape. Still on 1.5. And when I want it a little darker, I just lift it more onto the tip because that's where it's carrying the most heat. When I want it lighter, I go a little flatter. That is the easiest way with this pen to control your heat. Is how you're moving your hand, not only the speed and stroke that you're making, but up and down to go wherever there's the most heat for darker. See, that's 1.5, but because I just went on the tip, it made it darker. You really got to get comfortable with your pens. The minute you get comfortable with your pens and you relax and you understand some of the different things it does, just with the motion of your hand, you'll find that you change your heat less often. So I said that was lighter. I'll go in and put the dark in here. And then it goes down. I'm also looking at my outline over here just to make sure I'm getting the right areas. Again, because I've been so busy with the piece, I forgot to add the photo. I can quickly maybe show you. I'm not sure if I have it. Let me see if I have it.
Well, Greg says the hardest for me is a sky that is not dark or stormy with white clouds. No blue or white colors to compensate. They end up like a dark sky.
That may be something that we should look at next because I know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I do. And that's where it seems like, because the wood darkens, so...
Sorry.
Maybe that's a calmer sky, and I looked at those, what I'm looking for. Hopefully.
Well, while you're looking, Shirley also ordered a 3B apparently. And Sheila says, my medium and small spoon aren't like yours, Val. They have too much of a curve on them. I never use them.
Too much of a curve.
Yeah. Huh.
All right. That is the reference I'm looking at for my outlines.
Oh, okay.
Let me move this so I don't lose it. Okay, I think I did.
No, it's there on mine. Oh, it's gone now. It just hadn't.
No, it's there.
It's just overlapped.
I'm just trying to... I'll fix this later. It's there.
Okay.
I'll fix it later. It's there.
Okay.
All right, so that is what I'm looking at to ensure... there we go. I don't lose my lines. And because I did my pattern in Photoshop, or actually I did this pattern on a tablet, I could overlay it with a layer and then not lose it.
Gotcha.
Okay, so this is a little darker here. And again, this is all sky. I can go right up against it. So he's saying hers has more curve.
Yes, too much of a curve.
Too much of a curve.
Her medium and small spoon shaders.
I'm trying to think when she purchased hers. If she purchased hers in the batch when he first made them. Because if so, then they're like my old ones. And those are still very usable. The only reason I had him switch them out is because it was hard to explain to people what the new one looked like. Kind of like with this one.
Well, I know you wanted to get the...
it's just so I have...
You wanted to get the one that people would get.
Yeah.
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 Greg says, hard to get lights without darks. Just an observation.
Absolutely.
He says, haven't been here for a bit, so I'm making it for the last time.
I know what he's talking about, and he is.
Burl is at a museum right now in Saskatchewan.
Hey, Burl.
Happy
I knew she was
Easter.
On a plane.
Yeah, I saw that post too. I saw her on Instagram.
I was like, where's she going? So this is dark skies. So I'm just trying to get it right up against the cloud so I know what's what and I don't lose it.
She's at a museum right now, though. She's in a museum watching you.
Yeah, she's looking at other art.
She's looking at other art.
Let's see here. Alright, so I got... Just so I know where the sky's at so I don't lose it. The photo on the screen looks... Do I need to drop this down? It looks a little sharp.
Is it?
Yeah, maybe it's just how the camera's picking up on compared to what we're looking at. Yeah. So we, like Greg said, you have to have the darks. So even where the clouds are light, there are still shadows in them. Very rarely do you ever have like perfectly gray or perfectly white clouds. You have to look deep to see the difference.
Yeah.
Alright.
Well, they look white because
they look
in
white.
contrast to everything else.
With the sky, yep.
They're white. They're pure white.
And even with a blue sky, I'm trying to think of a peak. That sky is going to be darker tonally. And that's why monochrome, it doesn't matter if it's sepia or if it's, you could do a monochromatic red and you'll still see the different tonal values. More so than in a color photo. Alright. Sometimes you gotta train your eye to see things.
I'm surprised that pyrography isn't bigger in Japan.
No, it's...
because it's something that they would have had access to, and
it's big over there.
The process is very precise and painstaking, and that's something that is very appreciated
in some cultures.
In some cultures. I would say, because my best friends growing up were Japanese, and so I got a bit of that, talking to their mom, who is full Japanese, but I don't know if that kind of persists in their culture today. So, but I know it used to.
Everybody's different.
She really appreciated the things that were difficult to do. It was like the more difficult, the better, basically.
Alright, so right here we've got some darker clouds around our whites. And you see how the white's starting to be brighter white? Even though this is a bright white. It's starting to come out. And some of them I won't be putting any white in. It'll be the color, the tonal value of the wood. So the white is what's going to really stand out. Let's see here. I'm just trying to find the shapes. Carmen's here. Hey, Carmen.
You're not too late, Carmen.
Alright, see, that's a really dark cloud up here. I'm trying to stick with the lighter tone darks.
Yeah, I don't know about the leather tooling. I'm sure it does, though, surely. Carrie might know about that, because Carrie is actually in Japan, is he not?
No, that's Marcus.
Oh, Marcus.
That's Marcus.
My bad.
Carrie's in the UK.
That's right.
Alright. So
that's hubcap. Like 75% correct most of the time.
What's funny is you don't get lost up in the sky, but you could get lost in an empty parking lot.
Yep. Hey. Not an empty one.
A crowded one?
A crowded one, for sure.
So we got light right here. So we're just going to come down.
I can't tell you how many times I've walked past the car coming out of the grocery store. Like, because I walked to the place that it was the last time that I parked and not the current time. I was like, wait a minute. That's not where I'm parked.
So right now I'm just putting in the darker tones.
I'm a scout.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, I'm awesome. Give me a map and a forest.
Put you in the sky?
Yeah, put me in the sky. Or even a map in a forest. I'm good to go, but streets are bad.
So right here we got some lighter ones. Again, that's the dark area up in the top of the clouds. Those are the ones that are more. And then we've got light going up here, and this area is darker. And I'm just following my pattern on the photo. Once I get these blocked in, I can look at my tonal one and see where I need to go darker. Again, just the tip for this part. It's raising the pen up just a little bit. Yes, so I can go darker. And then I'm going to need to erase some lines, because I'm trying not to burn over the lines too much in order to pull them out easier, even though they're carbon. Excuse me. And this is all lighter, so I go flat, go down some more. So we're going to quickly and take a look. Excuse me. All right. We can start erasing some of the lines just so we can see.
Thank you, Greg. Yes, don't forget to like. That helps us out quite a bit.
I'm just trying to see where I can pull some more graphite, because they're already burned in the area. So I don't lose my spot. I need a drink. Sorry. Got scratchy throat.
Yeah, me too.
Alright. Tuesdays are probably the days I do the most talking.
That's true.
So let's make these more feathery. Now that I have the graphite out of the way. And then it lightens back up. And it shapes this cloud really. There we go. Goes a little darker. See, now we're starting to get some feathery type soft clouds. Alrighty. So it kind of lightens up as it goes this way. But let's go ahead and do this puffy cloud right here that has a halo. So I'm going to fill in the thickest part, and I can just notice that it whitened out for you guys. So let's angle it this way, and I'm actually going to turn down saturation a little bit because it changed, because I changed the camera angle. Although it helps if I'm on the right. Oh, that's us. That's us. We can have a little color. Alright, let's dial this back a little bit. Unfortunately, every time I move the camera, the light just reflects differently from the wood. Alright, so that's a darker area. Let's see here. Down here's a darker area, and then we have a light that comes through here. So we'll put the dark in first because it is light enough to go with what we've already been doing. Let's see here. So, but if we put the darks in first, it makes it easier to blend that light into it. Quickly get that in. And right now it's still going to be a mess until everything's blocked in. Which Sunday I have we have Secret Toasty Live Sunday.
Oh, we do. Cool.
And so we'll be like finishing up the details for this, or we'll finish blocking this in actually. And next Tuesday will be the final details, just so you can see it. Well, that's no fun.
What's not fun?
Nothing. Don't want to point it out.
Oh, okay.
Don't want to point it out.
Don't.
I don't want to. Alright, let's see here. I'm looking at my pattern, trying to see this goes this way. This is lighter, so down here is the dark. I was trying to figure out where. So that's our lightest area. So I'm going to bring this closer in. It goes, and then we're gonna erase that line so I can blend it out and you guys can see.
Shirley says, I just love that exact pen you're using.
Well, that's the one you're getting. Remember, each piece of wood always burns differently.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's...
You know, I think that pyrography in particular, like it's such a unique process because every time that you approach a burning, you have to keep in mind the individuality of the materials that you...
Yes.
I got it.
Thank you.
When I'm painting, I don't have to worry about my canvas. Like, if it's
Thank you.
a certain brand or grade of canvas that I'm using, they're all gonna paint the same.
Well,
you know.
There's some that paint better, but
what I'm saying is, like, when I make a canvas, I've got a roll, a roll of canvas, and every canvas that I manufacture out of that roll is gonna paint the same.
Yeah.
And so I don't have to worry about it, you know. But
even cutting down the wood, different areas will burn.
Exactly. So you have to have like a personal relationship with each piece.
Which is why I don't like wearing gloves.
Mm.
Because I feel less connected to the piece if I wear gloves.
Mm.
Which is why I was so adamant about finding a burner that I didn't have to wear gloves with. Alright, so what I've done is I've gone into the darker area and then I've moved to burn that lighter area. And I need to erase a little bit more. Alright, now we're going to move over here so we can try to get that shape. So we've got lighter, lighter, lighter here, and then darker. So I'm trying to get this dark enough, and looking at the reference, it may actually need to go darker. But again, until I get the sky and the water the way I want it, it really is harder to adjust exactly on the first time.
Greg says it's a love-hate relationship with the wood sometimes.
Sometimes it is. There's some crappy wood that just does not want to work with you, and you're just not seeing eye to eye as you're going, and that can be very frustrating.
And in this house, those become canvas boards for me.
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I do. Because I just don't have time to really fight it.
Yep.
Which is why I've spent a lot of time trying to find good wood. Good wood makes all the difference in the burning. It really does. You're not fighting with it, and if you're not fighting with it, you're not getting as frustrated, and if you're not getting as frustrated, you're enjoying the burning process more, and when you enjoy burning more, your pieces, no matter how simple, come out better. They just do. So, burning when you're in a bad mood, which I'm guilty of doing because I got to get something done, but that can affect your piece. And you could be doing the exact same thing that you've been doing 100,000 times before, but if you're just in a crappy mood as you're doing it, all that energy of you thinking and you're just is going right into your burning, and you're burning. The wood knows it. I know that sounds weird, and you might find that you're spending more time fighting with the wood than you normally would. And sometimes it takes a minute just to sit back, take a deep breath, let everything be.
Sheila says over there in the UK, the cost of wood has doubled in price.
I believe it.
You know, everything's doubled, hasn't it?
The thing is they have linden there. They got big linden trees there. That's basswood.
Oh, okay.
And you would think it wouldn't be more expensive than it is. It's ridiculous. It's gone up over here too. And I wish, you can buy from my links over in the UK, but then you're paying for shipping and you're paying for your customs, and it's just not worth it. I would suggest checking Jackson's and see if their prices have gone up on the wood. I don't go to their website often, so I'm not sure.
Carmen has a question. Once you find a type of wood that you like, wouldn't you just stick with it? She's only burned on basswood and sometimes poplar. What is your favorite wood to burn on?
Well, it depends on the piece, actually. It depends on what I'm looking for from the piece, how long I have to burn on the piece, because birch can take longer and requires more heat. I've really been spending a lot of time with basswood the last few months. I'm trying to think out the way to answer this, because a lot of times I don't pay attention always.
Well, can I say something just from observation? So it seems to me like that a lot of times the project dictates which piece of wood that you use, and it's not that you wouldn't want to use all the same wood if it was the best kind, but sometimes because wood is expensive, sometimes you get a piece that you find that is more appropriate for something you like to do. Maybe it's bigger, it has less deficiencies in it, and so it's more about the whole piece of wood, and the surface that it presents as opposed to the kind of wood. There's some woods that you just don't burn on because they're really difficult to burn on, but
it's not so much that they're difficult. Well, I don't do oak because it is difficult.
That's what I mean.
I don't do pine because of the sap and uneven grain.
Right. But there's a range of woods that are good to burn on, and it just depends on the project that you're doing, and because if you're doing a larger piece and you find a large piece of birch, that is suitable, then you're going to burn on that.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what? Thank you. That's probably the best way to explain it.
And
Really...
and that's why I said it.
I know.
Because I'm the hubcap.
It does matter on size. If I can't find a bigger piece of basswood, but I can get a bigger piece of birch, then I will use the birch.
Yeah.
Bigger meaning whether it's the width or the length. That will dictate a lot. So like the Nebula, I don't normally use the Dick Blick Studio canvas boards anymore. But in general, that worked better. And it was a bigger size that I really needed. I still need to varnish it.
Oh, man.
Should we show them the lights?
If you want.
The Super Toasters have already seen it.
You've never seen it? Man, it is awesome. You want me to get it? Or are you still working?
I'm still working.
Okay.
Let's see. I think I need to back off. I think the camera's just making a little too blurry.
I like space stuff. That sounds bad.
I like space.
But you know, that's like a lot of the painting that I do. And so you did a Nebula, and
I wanted to go loose. That's the only way I could do it.
You know, and I wasn't completely sold on it. I was like, oh, it'll probably look cool, but it's monochromatic, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you started, you know, Diamond Dust's not on there yet.
No, I still have to finish varnish. Or I have to do the varnish.
But then you were like, I'm going to put Diamond Dust on it, and I'm going to light it. And I was like, because I was like, well, it could look really cool. And internally, I was like, well, hopefully it doesn't look like one of those, you know, lit paintings that are like Velvet Elvises.
And that's what I was worried about.
But, man, it looks fantastic. It is super good. I wish, because I can't do that on canvas, what you just did.
Sure you can.
Well, I could poke holes in the canvas, but it wouldn't be as good. It wouldn't be as stable as what you've got going on there, because the canvas is flexible. So I don't think I would attempt it. But you did, and it looks amazing. So
gotta figure out how to hold it up for him because it's a big piece. All right, so this part is darker, and then we got a dark to medium to light, and then this is really dark. I think I'm gonna have to put this really dark one in order to see the difference with the light. And that's why I do tend to put my darks in first. Not that you have to. We're just going to take all this graphite. Let's just take it all. Alrighty. So let's darken this up real quick. And I know we're supposed to be doing light clouds, but we need these darks for the light clouds. So I'm going to go up to 2.5 because we know 3.5 was pretty darn dark there. So I'm going to go to 2.5. And as it's heating up, I will go ahead and start burning. It'll adjust itself as I'm going. Let's put these. And that's another thing. If I don't let the tip fully heat up, by going ahead and starting to burn as it's heating, I draw the heat and I'm less likely, not always, but less likely to get the blob. I need to go even darker with this because this is, especially at the top, it's going to be lighter at the bottom because that's where the lightning's hitting. So the top of the cloud is darker.
I just realized that this is a great perspective piece because you have the lightning that's hitting behind that layer of clouds, and so you get the perspective from the water, but you're also getting perspective in the sky with the different layers of clouds. It's pretty cool.
Oh, thank you.
Carmen says until the poplar that she has is completely dry, she's sticking with basswood.
Well, the horse that I did, that's on poplar. And the poplar was fine. I don't remember having a complaint about it.
So Greg says, like, he's agreeing with you exactly. He said he wanted a square cradle and they had it in birch.
Yep.
So that's what he's using.
Alrighty. So this is going to need to go even darker. As I'm putting it in at the top. And it does lighten up as we go, but it's still darker. In some areas. Try to keep that straight so I don't lose the perspective of the cloud. Alright, now that I've got it in, I'm going to quickly erase. And then I'm going to darken it. And hopefully, we'll see how it interacts with the lighter clouds.
Okay.
In theory. I'm going to go ahead and bump up to 3 1/4 now because I've already burned, so the wood's kind of, for a bad lack of term, primed. And, excuse me, so it's not going to react as much as if it was raw wood. And I can definitely use the extra small spear shader for all this.
But
Why not try another pen? For no other reason.
okay.
Kind of get out of my comfort zone.
Well, that is how we improve, right?
Yeah. Not that I'm not comfortable using this pen, I'm just used to my go-tos.
Yeah.
Alright. Get this dark in here. And we can start to see how much the other cloud's starting to line up. The dark is at the top. Bring it down. So I'm going flat here to make it more blurry.
That's Layla barking at the trees in the wind. Do you want me to pull them in?
You'll have to ask if they can hear them.
If you let me know if you guys can hear the dogs barking.
So while I'm touched down, I'm going to go ahead and come over here because this is a little darker. But I don't want my pen to reheat too fast because this is not as dark as the other one. I gotta pay attention to my verticals because the clouds are, I'm sorry, horizontals. No, lifted too long. So I'm gonna touch down where I've already burned. So now we can start seeing more of that shape. Because it's clouds, they don't have to be exact. I think I'm going to switch over to the 18S. Guess I can move a little faster. Knock that down to 2. And let's back it out because right now we're so zoomed in. That's not how we'd be looking at the piece. Okay, yeah, she's louder.
Okay, that's because there's a garbage truck. No, it's a sweeper. It should be gone in a second.
Let's see here. So this darkness up here kind of... I got it!
And it's gone.
And it's back. I got it. It's because this is a thinner board and it's kind of curled.
Oh, okay.
So
Banana's out.
Yeah, a little bit. Once it's framed, it won't be an issue. It'll lie flat, but right now, these two corners kind of fold up a little bit. Once it's framed, it'll be flat like this and not an issue. Alrighty. I'm just checking my tonal value. That's why I backed out. Not having the dark sky in is affecting how I'm viewing it. Alright. Good to know. So we'll angle it over here. Let's see if 2 is too hot. It'll work for inside this soft cloud, dark cloud. I'm actually going to lift this up because I don't want to bend the board any more than it already is. Alrighty. So I'm at 2. You see, it just blobbed. So it tells me I just need to darken that area. Actually, I'm not liking how the wood and this tip are discussing what they're gonna do. Yeah, I'm not liking that as much. So what pen? Now I can go to the extra small, but it's going to be harsher. So I think I'll actually bump down to the large spoon shader. And this is what my large looks like. This is the way the pins are made for the spoon shaders. I have the accurate small, medium, and large. You know, my brain's all over the place. I still gotta finish working on. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Well, she's inside. But...
Yeah, they're playing. On the tip of it, this isn't a pin that you use completely flat because it does have a gap, but we still have a lot of area to touch down with. And I'm actually going to bump it up to 3. So let's darken the center of this cloud. There we go. And it's okay if it has texture, it's a cloud. Nothing perfect about it. And then it's lighter here, so I'll just quickly move. Which means this area needs to go darker. And this is why I jump around so much, is because I keep readjusting. When I see something that needs to go a certain way, I jump over to it. So I'm more on the tip, and I'm making small circles so it's a little smoother. Bring it in.
It smells smoky in here.
Does it? Yeah. I'm not burning hot enough.
Well, I know, but I think just accumulation.
Gotcha. Let's see. I may need to move the camera a little bit more because I'm adjusting my board. So now we're pretty dark here. So for these not as dark clouds, it's easier to adjust and blend out because it's not harsh. So we have some areas that are darker Then we have some areas that are lighter. So we don't want too much harshness. We want them to blend. Let's see here, this is dark. But we start seeing how all the light and dark work together. And I can always go back and smooth out if I need to, but again, they're clouds. I'm not particularly worried about it. If I just go over the same area, it will smooth it out. Over here, I didn't go all the way to the edge of the cloud. So this area.
No problem, Shirley. I gave them carrots.
Gotcha.
So I don't know how long that will quiet them, but it certainly will distract them. They've already eaten them, so.
So they already won?
Yeah. Well, I made them sit and be good.
Alright. Now, because I didn't lay out all the shapes in the pattern, I can just kind of move around. Make my own shapes if I want. So some of this is going to be like the less dark versus the darker area of the cloud. See, and this is another great reason to work on an easel, because then I can have all my photos. Well, all I have to do is glance up and see them. See, I know this is a dark area here, the sky. So we're going to quickly put that in so I don't lose it later. There we go. Now we got to blend out. And kind of smooth out and blend. And I can now erase because I've got this whole area in. So I can now erase. So we can see how it's coming together. It's easy to get laser focused, but if you don't look at the piece as a whole, you might miss something. Let's see here. I mean, it's starting to come together. We want to feel fluffy. I'm trying to make it feel fluffy. So this is our lighter, dark. And as far as I can go with this pen to get a bigger area. There we go. But all of this needs to be burned. It's just different variations of dark.
Greg wants to know, will you be going darker to compensate for sealing it?
Yes. Great question. I have found, though, with workable fixative, the wood doesn't darken as much. Not perfect, but it doesn't darken as much.
That's weird, because, like, workable fixative, like, when you put it on charcoal, it really darkens it.
It's just how the wood reacts to it, I guess. The nebula I used, because I was keeping that in mind as I was burning it and thinking the same thing, but when I put the fixative on, it didn't. My light areas didn't go as dark as I expected. And since this will have the white charcoal on it, if not, I haven't decided if I'm going to put gouache on it or not. I will be using the workable fixative just to keep it from darkening as much.
Workable fix. Greg asks, workable fixative. He says, pray tell what you using. I don't know why I had to use that voice. I just had to.
By the front door, I did it again. By the front door, I think is my can because I sprayed it outside. So my can.
Your front door?
By the front door, yeah. The little table.
A little table. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, that.
Yeah, the lamp. There you go. I found it. Workable fixative.
That is also what I use.
Mm-hmm.
When I use it.
Let's see.
I really don't have to use it that much anymore, though.
I'm trying to see.
Unless I'm doing charcoal, which I don't really.
And see, substrates, wood. First one right there. So that's what I used on the nebula, and it really did not darken the wood compared to my burning. So that would be 1306. I can post the link in the group. I'm trying to see if there's anything specific on here because it's good for protecting pencil, pastel, chalk drawings. It's acid free, allows your easy rework, which you can't burn over it, but if you're adding pencil, you can rework. Prevents smudging and wrinkling. So used for pencil, charcoal, Conte, watercolor, India ink, and crayon. Now you would not paint over this with watercolor. Watercolor will not adhere to it. This is if you watercolored something, you would spray this and then you can put other stuff on top of it. So yeah, I will quickly, because we're already at 11:59. We'll end there. So let's back it out so we can see how the clouds are starting to shape. And then I will grab the nebula that has the workable fixative on it, but I'm varnishing like right after the live because I got to get it done. Let's see, we'll take this one off. And I got to figure out, come on, click off, what camera to show you guys the nebula. Now, it does have white acrylic for some stars. I still have to do the diamond dust. I guess I can make me bigger on that camera so you can see. Let me readjust this real quick because I am going to hold it up in front of me. Basically, I only seal with water base, so either Liquitex or the polyacrylic. I'm not sure. It should be fine under oil. So that is where we're at. Again, I need a varnish, so the light's not going to show this right. And I have it on the multiple setting. Let's see, let's zoom it in so you can better see. Yeah, right now it looks pretty white, and that's not an accurate. I'm going to zoom this in. That is not an accurate representation. There we go. That'll be a little closer. So, there's still a haze from the lights in the studio. Now the lights have changed. I've got it set on the multi. There we go. So that one, it's more yellow. I'm trying to figure out the best way. I know what the problem is, because I desaturated us. That's why it's not showing up right. Let's see if this helps it any. There we go. Well, no, it didn't. This is the joys of working with cameras. Let's see here. A little closer. It still has the glare. But remember, once I varnish, it's actually going to be even darker. And this was a pain. There's an easier way to do it. And I will show you guys. I will show you. And luckily, my remote does work through the wood. Careful. Be good. It does work through the wood, but it has to be pointed in a very specific spot. So, and it gets brighter and darker. So this is what it's going to be for the art show. Like I said, I need to add the diamond dust and I need to do the varnish. So what I will do for this is the first layer of varnish, come on, turn off, will go on, and then I'm going to toss gently the diamond dust and it'll land wherever it lands. And then I will varnish on top of it. That is how that's gonna go. Oh, he scared me. He scared me. I thought the piece fell. You scared me. Alrighty. I was just showing them the piece.
The what piece?
The nebula.
Oh.
That's all. That's all I was doing. Alrighty. Thank you guys. I'm overall happy with it. So that was all done with the heat gun. Other than to sign my name, no wood burner. Touch the piece. There we go.
Did you turn it on?
I did turn it on. I showed them. This will help turn the lights back on. There we go. So next week we will do the final details. Now that I've started getting some of this in, we can tell some of these need to go darker, especially in this area. But us and the Super Toasties will work on getting the rest of this blocked in. And if it's not fully blocked in, because I'm still like working on everything else, I think on Saturday, I think I need a Skyrim day after what I've done.
Yeah.
I think I might need a Skyrim day.
You've been pretty busy. Did you answer Greg's question?
I did not.
She's reading it.
Okay, have you used that? I think. Oh, he's used it while adding some color a while ago. And yes, I did answer it. He was asking if this can be used with the oil-based sealer. Okay. I believe this is either solvent or water-based. Unfortunately, now let's see. It's always hard to tell unless I'm trying to see if it anywhere tells us if this is water-based or if it's solvent-based. I do believe you can use this under polyurethane.
Can I see it?
Mm-hmm. I believe you can. I would test just to make sure. It should work, but I need to do some research.
This is solvent-based.
Is it solvent-based?
Yeah. Yeah. Acetylene, toluene, propane, butane, ethyl.
Well, some of that's to propel it.
Well, yeah, but this is a solvent.
Yeah.
So, my safety training came in handy.
Yay.
Because I'm trained
So,
to
yes, oil
things.
should be not a problem. Shouldn't be a problem to, because that's what he's asking. polyurethane would be okay over solvent, and it should be.
Yeah, well, with solvents, the thing is letting them dry all the way.
Yeah, and this says it takes, and it dries in 10 to 15 minutes, but handles after an hour. And you can recoat it anytime. So yeah, okay, let's see here. If spray button becomes clogged, wear eye protection, wipe off button opening with lacquer thinner. So solvent. It says lacquer thinner to unclog the spray. So if you can use lacquer thinner, it's either solvent or oil. It's going to be solvent. They're not going to use oil over pencil. So, or Conte or charcoal. It's not going to be an oil-based spray.
Well, I'm just saying.
And it's less likely to be water spray because you tend to do it on wood or paper.
This here?
Yeah, I saw those.
Acetone and toluene?
Yeah.
Those are solvents.
Yeah, so it's a solvent-based that should work. I know it works with water-based sealant. It should work with oil-based as well. So, if we don't got nothing else, next Tuesday we will just finish this up. And hopefully I will be much further because I can sit and burn. I couldn't sit and burn last week at all. I was too busy screwing around with lights.
Literally.
Literally. And cutting a backing board and attaching that. And I gotta take it apart again.
I'll take it apart.
Alrighty. You know. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you're new and you have thankfully gotten to the end with us. Don't forget to hit like and say it with me. You know what to say. You're awesome. You can do this. Why? Because you're a pyro artist.
Correct.
Happy burning, guys. Bye.